Paying into passion and that passion gonna pay off. Grind hard, 2023 won't take a day off. Maintaining peace and sanity amongst the chaos. On the hunt for treasure, we close to man away off.
If I want to make the best album for where I am in my life right now, then take your time doing it, listen to everything that you make, and just be honest with yourself. It helped me get out like some of the things that I couldn't get out in regular conversations in my life. And it was good for that moment, and it helped me be creative in that moment. But what I've learned over the past few years is that was just like one version of who I was, and maybe it got me to a certain point, but it's not who I want to be. Maybe it's who I was, but this feels a lot better. I'm watching myself self-sabotage everything around me. I'm watching myself like lie about like small things. I'm watching myself like put off hard conversations because they make me uncomfortable. It was really just feeling like things were slipping through my hands and knowing that the main factor was myself. It wasn't anybody doing anything to me. It was me doing things to myself. It got to the point where the person who I care about the most was just like, you look like you got it together to everybody else, but I can see you, and yeah, I don't like it. Just like filling time and filling space and settling and allowing like my depression and my moods to just overtake like my decision-making skills. Then that started to like inspire the creativity, and then that became like a crutch. I honestly feel like that's the reason why this new music has like pushed me in a different direction, because I'm just like, but is this really like where you want to be? Is this really how you feel? Is it benefiting you? Like when you wake up in the morning, how do you feel? Do you feel full? And I was feeling more and more drained. If there is something that like doesn't make you feel good and it's rooted in something that you can really stand on and explain, then talk about it and stand on it and be okay with that. Like some things you let slide, but if it's not worth letting slide, then speak on it and be cool speaking on it.
I left everything behind, yeah. Every like actual trait.
That's huge. That's
I left
like
behind,
literally
yeah. My personality I took with me, but my traits and my habits.
Wow.
And my patterns and all those things that were handed down to me from other people in my family, I was just like, oh, I'm all right. I'll leave. I don't want it anymore. Is someone rolling up their sleeves and getting on their hands and knees and like crawling through to come out the other end.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really did the hard work, and I feel like you can hear it in my lyrics. I'm definitely not uncomfortable in sadness. I feel like I'm just a naturally sad person.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live like that. And I don't want my son to see me living like that. And I don't want my son to inherit that. I got this rage, like a lot afterwards. And I think it was frustration of me ignoring myself for such a long time and me feeling like I was falling back into my old habits and stuff like that. Hearing my friends in 2020 tell me what they were going through and stuff like that, and being forced to sort of look inwards because they had no one else to look at. Mainly, like, you know, because they'd be on their own. In lockdown and stuff, I was like, actually, I feel like the process that I just went through might actually be quite helpful. I did it on my own. I'd like to thank anyone. It would be myself, because I really, really committed to myself. And I really, yeah, I think it's an important record. Also for other artists to hear, you know, those ones that I feel like are being encouraged not to value their own art, and that everything should be massive and everything should be, get it while you can, like, you know, because that's not what artists are. And I know a few of them that feel this pressure to be like all the time. And I just, yeah, I wanted to just remind them all that, like, you don't have to be in everyone's faces all the time, and also you can really write from like your stomach if you want.
You say, yo, you look healthy. Like, this is what I look like when I'm focused on myself. This is what I look like when I take that time to, you know, take care of myself, like to love myself. This is what it look like. Life is about growth. You know, nobody's gonna come straight off of the tree like, boom, perfect.
Right. Like I'm Biggie in the past, like I'm ancient. And if you think you spit high, then watch me spit Satan. Look.
You know, we all got all types of childhood traumas that we couldn't even run from if we tried to.
That's right.
As long as, you know, you got that growth mindset, then I got some patience. As unfortunate as that pandemic was for a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely don't want to be insensitive when I say this, but for me, I needed that. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know stillness in my adult life. Like, I hit the ground running at 17 years old. I was still a kid. I didn't realize for about 5-6 years I didn't stop. I hadn't stopped. I hadn't gotten any type of still time. I hadn't like had real time to connect with my family, even more importantly, myself. You know what I mean? So when I finally got that space in that time, it was like I just went real deep inside, you know what I mean? And I realized things that I needed. I was like, okay, I need therapy. You know what I mean? Like, I need to be held accountable for my shortcomings. I need those to be pointed out to me because, like, I'm committed and devoted to being a better version of myself every time I show up. I pride myself on that, you know, so therapy was definitely an outlet that I saw to bring me closer to a higher self-awareness and just state of being.
She once took a 3-month vow of silence.
It's so much cooler than it sounds, but yeah, that's for real, for real.
Like silence?
I didn't talk to nobody. I was in a bad place in my life. A lot of horrible things happened back to back to back, and I kind of shut down. Because I was going to be this concert flutist. Like, I was going to move to Paris and study at the Paris Conservatory and try to be in a symphony, and like that was the dream. And then when that dream ended, I was like, okay, what are you going to do now? And I think in that 3 months, I was like, okay, you're going to be a singer, you're going to be a rapper, you're going to do music. It sounds nice.
Right.
Like I took a monk's vow, but it hurt my mom's feelings, you know, a lot, and it hurt my brother's feelings, and it hurt me too to do that. I was out of my body. I was like, "What are you doing? Just talk to them." And it was like, "No, you have nothing to say." I do have a really good support system, and I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of family that are willing to always be there for me. But I think a part of my sadness is that I kind of get stuck inside of it, and I don't know how to reach out. If it weren't for the internet, if it weren't for social media, I could have been erased. But I chose to be undeniable, and I chose to be loud, and I chose to be great. And I'm still here.
It's more like my views rather than trying to throw it on a listener. And I think that's my biggest connection with my audience and why it connects. It's not necessarily preachy. It's just my own ups and downs and trying to figure myself out, as well as going through these times of traveling the world and my own experiences and putting them all into one.
My innocence will eventually see a hindrance, surrendering. Ninja Turtles, Pisha, and Sega Genesis. Hurdled over my bunk bed, ear hustling. Something my papa said that caught my attention.
You texted me at 2 o'clock in the morning. I feel like I'm fallen.
Nothing was as vulnerable as that record. So it's even pulling from those experiences of coming up in Compton. It's pulling with the experience of going through change and accepting change. That's the hardest thing for man, accepting change. And when I was on that tour bus and things is happening back home in my city or in my family that I can't do nothing about, it's out of my control, I don't put it in God's hands, I couldn't understand that. And that can draw a thin line, you know, between you having your sanity and you losing it. And this is how artists deteriorate if you don't catch yourself. So with these things happen, my release therapy is writing the music. And this was one of the records that came about. It's not just the positive energy that speaks to me, it's the negative too, it's the evils too. And we all have temptations. Me, I'm just fortunate enough to translate them temptations through record. Right. You know, I always said this is truly a gift for me. Putting these records out is a gift for me because I'm not only a voice for myself, but I'm a voice for people who can't express themselves like that. actually coming to realization of the evils rather than acting like it's not going around. My farts are not happening. My farts are happening right in front of my face. I gotta present them.
The way y'all look at my music, the way y'all broke it down, the way y'all articulated, the way y'all put it together with everyday life, it's amazing. No award, nothing. This is the best accolade this far, you dig what I'm saying?
Passion and that passion gonna pay off. Grind hard, 2023 won't take a day off. Maintaining peace and sanity amongst the chaos. On the hunt for treasure, we close the man away.